greatness, or that stage in your life, or meeting that special someone, or obtaining that job eventually, that job that you've always wanted, or creating that opportunity for yourself and others, right? For people that are entrepreneurs, who are into business, right? If it was so easy, people would do it left and right. But only the strong are the ones that last. And we all have to work on our strength, work on our patience, in everything that we try to do. Everything that we try to do is very important. It's so easy to be destroyed by someone else's opinion, by criticism, and it's very easy for us to destroy ourselves, especially when we're feeling the lowest. But there's true meaning and lessons. There's true meaning and lessons in everything that we go through. Again, the good and the bad. You have to learn to appreciate both. If it was so easy to make money out here, then money wouldn't have the value that it has. There would be no need to save money. There would be no need to work hard and get to the next level of your finance. It's money comes and goes, right? A lot of people say money comes and goes. But at the end of the day, we put value, right? Because of the time that we put towards it, the energy, right? The time and energy that we put towards making a specific dollar amount is very important. Now, many of us, to reach that level of success, we end up blocking our blessings. The blessings are right in front of us. The opportunities are right in front of us. But because of that one moment that you fail, you decide to quit on yourself. You decide to quit on your passion. You decide to quit on that idea. You decide to quit because you failed that one time, or because it didn't work out, when really you have to give yourself time. If it's something that you really believe in, if it's something that you really love, you have passion for, why not continue to fight for it? Put value on what you do. You have to put value on everything that you do, because you never know what's on the other side. You never know who you're going to meet. The things that seem impossible become possible with the right people around you, with discussing, networking, etc., etc. There's so much that you can do. You can't just give up on your dream. You can't give up on your goal. You can't give up on your intention. You can't give up on you. And let alone if you have people that depend on you, you cannot give up on them. We have to continue pushing. So I wrote down how many of us are going through it. Many of us are going through it. Many of us are in denial, and very few accept it. Very few admit it. Those who are in denial are stuck, and in some cases are making their situation worse. Those who are aware accept and admit the current phase or season they're in, and tend to learn, grow, heal, and move forward. Now think about it. If you're one to be in denial and you don't deny your current situation, you tend to ignore your situation, you tend to disregard your situation or what you're feeling, that's causing a delay. That's causing you to set yourself up for failure. That's causing you to be stunned. It's stopping you from moving forward. It's stopping you from growing. It's stopping you from helping yourself and even others. Most of you are going through it, but don't want to accept the fact that you have to make changes in your life. You have to make changes yourself, but also in your hobbies, in the time and energy that you put towards people, places, and things. Sometimes it's hard because it's what you're used to. It's very hard because it's things that you're used to, and it's like, how am I going to change this now? This is what I've been doing for so long. This is what I know. The type of people you're around, the type of activities you're in. Sometimes you're with the wrong people, in the wrong places, doing the wrong things, but you don't want to change it because it's what you've been doing all along, and it feels right. Some people are afraid of change. Some people can't see what they have ahead of them because they don't want to take that extra step. How many of us can agree to that? How many of us can agree to it? There are many times that we want to go ahead and put the blame on others for their behavior in general or towards us. We want to put the blame on others for not really helping our situation or helping us in general. But really, you got to look at yourself, because, okay, other people do what they do and they say what they say. But what are you doing about it? Are you staying away from that person, place, or thing? Are you setting limits? Are you making changes to remove yourself from those people and places? To remove those things that don't belong in your life? Can't always put the blame on someone else. Sometimes you may have to look at yourself and reevaluate you. Reevaluate those who are around you. Think about your purpose. Think about your calling. Think about the reason why you're in the places you're in. Sometimes it may not be the right reasons. It may be for the wrong reasons. But that's okay. This is how we learn. This is how we walk through life, right? We're never going to know things ahead of time. Not always. But through experience, moving forward, we know who to avoid, the places to avoid, the things to avoid, and when. It's constant work. Life is not always going to be perfect. Once you get through one phase or one season, there's going to be many seasons ahead, if God permits. May He bless us and protects us along the way. May He bless and protect all of us along the way. Give us health so we can be here for as long as we can to do all that we love for not only us, but for those who are with us, for those who depend on us. To enjoy life, even through the obstacles, even through the hardship. May He give us the patience and peace that we need to continue to accomplish the goals, to continue to grow as people, to continue to find our purpose in this life right this given moment. Because we all have a reason why we are here. It's not because someone gave birth to us. It's not because mom gave birth. That's not the only reason. We are here for a reason. And we're here to do what we are designed to do. But you have to find it. Find yourself. Be aware of who you are, of what you're capable of. Your reason of being here. And what exactly are you going to do for yourself to continue going and growing, and to help others grow, heal, develop, and find themselves as well. If you think about it, for those who constantly go through it, sometimes we may feel like we're the only ones going through it, because we see social media, how we have people who are so happy, so successful. They drive the car that you may love. They have the house of your dreams. They have a house. You have an apartment. You better be grateful for whatever you have, whether it's a house, or an apartment. Be grateful for what you have. Because eventually you can work towards that goal, which is, you know what? I'm tired of this apartment. I want to go ahead and have a house for my family, for more space. Whatever the goal is, don't compare yourself to someone else. Don't compare your life to someone else. Don't compare your accomplishments with someone else. You don't know what they went through. And vice versa. No one's ever going to know what you go through unless you express it. No one's ever going to know what you go through. And you're not going to know 100% what someone else had to go through in order to obtain these things. The things that we don't take with us when we're no longer here. So what should be our number one priority, our focus should be health, mental health, emotional health, happiness. You remember when they used to ask you, oh, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you finish high school? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you want to be? And the first thing that came to our mind was, oh, what am I going to say? That doesn't mean everyone. What I mean is most people, the majority, a police officer or a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or electrician, right? The first thing that came to mind were positions and titles. The last thing the majority of us had in mind was happiness. That was the last thing we had in mind. Happiness. Because we thought, right? We live in a system, a society, that you are who you are and what you are based on your position, title, tax bracket, and what you own. The material stuff. Cars, houses, jewelry, and everything that falls into that category. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was one. I was always so worried about what other people would think, what other people would say. I was so focused on others that I failed to focus on self. Which is why I learned very late of how valuable I am, what I was capable of, what I am capable of, and how I should not only view me, but every single thought that I had in mind. No matter what people thought. And people till this day fail to see themselves for who they really are. People till this day fail to value who they are. They fail to block that opinion, the critics of others. They fail to block it and focus on themselves. Why may that be? Many factors. Many of us fail at a young age to have these type of conversations that raise awareness, self-awareness, self-respect, self-love, self-care. As we walk through life and we go through life, how many of us can admit we've been self-sabotaging ourselves along the way? Because of what someone else said, what someone else did to us, or situations that we put ourselves in. Because again, like I said in the beginning, you cannot always put the blame on others. You also have to evaluate you, your mindset, your actions, how you've possibly put yourself in certain situations, how you've possibly allowed other people to drag you into certain situations, to drag you into those thoughts, those negative thoughts that you have about yourself. And I'm here to tell you it's all a lie. It's all a lie. You are beautiful. You're amazing. You're talented. You have a gift. You have a purpose. There's a reason why you're going through the situation you're in right now. Why? Because you need to change. Why? Because you need to grow. Why? Because you're going to help someone else grow. Why? Because you're going to help others change. Why? You're going to help others heal. Everyone needs someone who's well experienced. So don't look at yourself like a failure. You're someone who fails all the time. No, you're someone who's experienced a lot, who's well experienced, and continue to experience so much. But look how far you've come. Look how mature you are today. Look how more aware you are of yourself and things in you and around you. Look at that. Look how far you've come. Don't talk to me about degrees. Don't talk to me about certifications. Don't talk to me about nothing that's on paper. Talk to me about life. Talk to me about how far you've come in terms of experiences, in terms of overcoming obstacles, in terms of just becoming the person that you are today, the mentality that you have today. Let's talk about that. Don't talk to me about degrees. Don't talk to me about paperwork. Talk to me about you. Even for those who have the degrees, what have you learned along the way? Many people fail to have humility, to be humble. A lot of people fail to realize how they've gone so far and have accomplished so much that they one day decide to look down on others instead of being that helping hand, reaching out to help others. Not everyone is fortunate to obtain those degrees, those certifications. But you were. Now what are you doing for others? Are you going to decide to bash on others? Are you going to look down on others? Or are you going to help others grow? Are you going to help others join the boat that you're on? Are you going to lead the way? Are you going to lead the way? Because to me, that's what's very important nowadays, is how stable you are mentally and emotionally. To me, what's most important is your happiness, your tolerance of those things that make you feel the most overwhelmed, stressed, depressed, anxiety. Remember, everyone has different capacities when it comes to mindsets, when it comes to struggling. How many people we know that have self-destructed because they just couldn't handle the situation that they were in. They couldn't handle the life that they were born into, right? Because many of us have been very lucky to have that parent or parents to be there for us. But then you have others who weren't. So can you blame them for how they see themselves? Or the decisions that they made throughout their life? Or for behaving a certain way? Again, we should be here not pointing out the negative. We should be here looking at the positive side of things. Understanding that now all humans are the same. Behaviors. And there's a reason why. And going back to what I said a few minutes ago, the majority of the times you may not know the reason why. Which is why I feel like we all have to take the time to be good to others, to work on kindness, kindness, be mindful. We really, really have to focus on these things. Sometimes we look at life and we feel like it's all about us, which is one of the reasons why most people think why I haven't reached or accomplished the goal, or why can I get past this? Because sometimes you have the wrong views, the wrong thoughts. How many of us have experienced this in the workplace, where you have coworkers who don't really want to help you, but they just want to destroy you and your work ethic because they want one less person to compete with? Going back to the wrong thoughts of things. There are people out there who put their misery on you, right? Because we all know that misery loves company. Because they can't stand to see how positive and happy you are. Mind you, you're going through these obstacles that most people don't know about, but you still manage to have a smile on your face. You still manage to find the good in the bad. You still manage to be different. You still manage to be very flexible with people and understanding. You know, a lot of people think that when we go through situations, they feel like all these medical terms, God forbid, cancer, blood clots, illnesses in general, they feel like that's the only way that we can actually say someone's going through it, or, you know, there's no cure, treatment. But if you think about it spiritually, most of us have been on the side where we've had blood clots spiritually. I'm talking about spiritually. That cancer-like spiritually. And what am I trying to say by this is we've never allowed the Holy Spirit to flow through us, which is why I brought up the whole thing with blood clots. Spiritually, we've had blood clots, not allowing the Holy Spirit to flow through us, which is how we are blessed and bless others along the way. What type of blood clots am I talking about? When you hate on other people, when you envy someone else, when you can't stand other people, when you try to destroy other people, you become an illness. Jael said, I have not failed. I have found 10,000 ways that won't work. Thomas Edison. I love that. I love that. Love that quote from Thomas Edison. But most of us don't realize how we can be illness, how we can be a cancer to someone else, how we can hurt and destroy someone else mentally, emotionally. Most of the time, these situations can be permanent as well as temporary, but still you're hurting someone. You're not allowing yourself to become who you're destined to be. And here you are destroying someone else's destiny. Hope. Life is hard, let alone. Life is hard. We have bills to pay, right? We have fines, penalties. We have stages that we have to go through in order to reach that goal. We have risks that we have to take along the way. Why would you want to add on to what life has to bring already? So now you have a choice to make. Do you want to be a problem or a solution for someone? Do you want to be a problem or the solution? Do you want to be out here destroying other people? Or do you want to be out here helping others heal, fixing people's situations, fixing their mindset? What is it exactly that you want to do? What are your true intentions for others? For those who think they're the only ones going through it, let me tell you that is not true. There are people who go through it daily but won't let their situation take over or affect them, right? Which we've spoken about strength and patience. Sometimes we feel like we are a burden, but no, we are not a burden. Most of the time, we may be carrying a burden, but you're not a burden. Do not let anyone or anything make you feel like a burden, because you are not. No one is exempt from going through it. We all go through it in different stages of our lives, which is why we have to prepare ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and most importantly, financially. We have to prepare for what life is going to bring us along the way as we go. For as long as we're alive, I've mentioned this in the past episodes, for as long as we're alive, we will experience struggle. We're going to struggle to get to the next stage. We're going to struggle to overcome these obstacles that come our way. We're going to struggle regardless. But the reward is going to be so much more better than what you're going through right now. Once you get through, you're going to see what's on the other end. Because again, if it was so easy, how are we going to put value on all that we obtain along the way? Whether it's material, whether it's a tax bracket, right? Stability. We wouldn't even appreciate it. So you have to keep going. You can't quit on yourself. You have to keep going. You're going to make it through your current situation. For those who are currently going through it right now and feel like there's no way out and feel like they've experienced these dark thoughts and they're in a really dark place and they don't see themselves out, a way out, how to get out. No solution. It's problem after problem. There's no solution. You are going to make it through, but you have to focus on getting through. You have to focus on what it is that's needed to get through, what it is that you have to do in you to get through. Many of you have to pray heavy. Prayers work, people. Prayers work. You have to pray. If you don't have someone you can talk to, why not talk to God? Why not? Why not take the time when you wake up and pray and talk it out? Let it all out. Cry if you have to, but let it all out. I don't care what it is. Say it. Ask for guidance. Ask for revelation. What is it that I have to do to get through this? What is it that's affecting me? What is it that's making the situation worse? What is it that I'm not seeing? What is it that I'm not hearing that's making me feel this way? talk it out. Ask. And best believe you're going to receive an answer. You must be asking yourself, how? How am I going to receive an answer? Well, let me tell you. God will talk to you, or he will send people and speak through them. You may receive a random phone call. You may make a new friend. You may meet someone that becomes your partner. You just never know how you're going to be blessed eventually, moving forward. You'll never know how you're going to be blessed. Again, people think that, let me go ahead and play these lotto tickets, scratch-offs, because this is what's going to fix my problem. If I make this money, this jackpot, I'm just going to disappear. Okay, you're going to disappear with your misery, because it'll be temporary relief. What you're expecting is temporary relief, but I want everyone to focus on permanent relief, long-term relief, not short-term. You got to think long-term in everything that you do. Whatever you're doing for yourself, whatever you're doing for others, investing long-term. You got to think long-term. And most of us learn this the hard way. We tend to want to find temporary relief. But in those temporary reliefs, we find out that we're just doing more and more damage to ourselves. And sometimes those around us, or those involved with us, through those temporary reliefs. Got to be aware of that. You're going to make it through. You're going to make it through. Whether you're struggling with addiction, a relationship, financially, a friend, a job, which often leads to being unstable in all other areas, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You start to feel insecure, confused, depressed, overwhelmed. You start to think poorly of yourself to the point where you start leading yourself down a dark path where only dark thoughts will appear and take over you, to the point where you can possibly self-destruct, which is what we all have to avoid. Self-destruction. It's lethal. And it's happened to many people. Destroying all you have, all you're working towards, or all that you've been working towards. Delaying the best version of you. Destroying all you've accomplished and so much more. Are you going to allow your current situation to lead you to self-destruction? Are you going to allow your current situation to get you to the point where you're going to quit on you? Are you going to do that? Are you just going to give up and not go any further? Why would you? Self-destruction is no joke. There's been people who committed suicide, slit their wrist one or multiple times, shot themselves, poisoned themselves, and so much more. There are ways that people in the past that we know of have harmed themselves. Most of them are no longer here with us. May they rest in peace. And for those who are still with us, have made it through, or are doing much worse. There's a study that shows how rates of attempted suicide by self-poisoning are rising amongst young people. There's a study that shows how rates of attempted suicide by self-poisoning are rising among young people. Now, can you just imagine? And we've read articles and seen stories on the news of how there are young teens committing suicide. young teens committing suicide. I mean, they're in prime time, which is when they're learning the most, when they should be learning the most about themselves, their potential, working on their vision, where it is that they want to go, where they want to take life, how far, what they want to do eventually in the future for themselves, for others. But that to have them be affected by the illnesses discussed previously, other people who are hurting others and destroying them, you think that's okay? Our youth, which again, we're in a season now where they are already back in school or going back to school in a week or so. And we have to have that connection with them. Have to have those conversations with them. To constantly remind them who they are, what they're capable of, how beautiful, amazing, and unique they are, no matter what someone else says. Let it be known that it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to be wrong. I'm even going to get into details. There are a lot that goes on in schools. The bullying, cyberbullying, bullying in general. There's a lot that takes place. And sometimes we're unaware. And when we find out, it's been too late. Because they committed suicide. Or they attempted to commit suicide by self-poisoning. Instead, they're in a vegetable state. They didn't die all the way. Then you have others who die inside and lose hope and turn into those who's hurt them, who's bullied them. So I feel like these conversations is something that we have to implement on our children, on those students, the youth, young adults, and even adults. Make it normal to discuss and to talk to them. Make it normal to have those therapeutic conversations. Make it normal to be open with that child or children to the point where they can trust you in anything that they want to discuss. How many of us can go ahead and think back when you were in elementary, junior high, high school, and you've went through multiple situations and you didn't know who to talk to because you thought it was going to be a sign of weakness, or you thought that if you had that specific conversation that you were going to be made fun of and you were unable to do it and you just didn't have the answer, and because you failed to discuss it with anyone, you took matter into your own hands and you went through unnecessary situations. How many of us can admit that we've been bullied in the past, in and out of school? How many of us are able to do that? We have to talk to our children, to the youth, and let them know and show them what's right from wrong. Because by speaking to every youth, we can try and eliminate the bullying, eliminate the disrespect, eliminate the hurt that is being caused by these actions. It seems like we only have these type of conversations when we hear about school shootings, when we see fights, videos of someone else getting bullied. Only when we see something is when we discuss it. I'm here to tell you we have to have this discussion on a daily basis, whether it's happening or not. We have to work towards prevention. Prevent these acts from happening. It's the only way to try and eliminate or even just control what takes place in these schools that we know nothing about. It's not okay for a child to make fun of another child. It's not okay for someone to put their hands on someone else. It's not okay for someone to make fun of another who isn't blessed with what's trending nowadays. Someone who has a hole in their sneaker. Someone who's wearing an oversized tee. Someone who's not matching their shirt with their sneakers or hat or whatever the case is. We have to help build, not destroy. It's okay, it may look different for those who won't understand why that child has a hole in their sneaker. Never know what their family's going through, their parents or parents. Maybe they're a single mom or dad who can only afford so much. So we have to, again, have these conversations to help them understand why and show them how blessed they are. And again, because they are blessed, that doesn't mean that someone else isn't. We are all blessed. The fact that we get up and are able to see another day and are able to show up to school, work, that's a blessing alone. There are people who don't wake up the next day. They don't get to see another day. We have to have these conversations with our children. The time is now. It's not when something happens. The time is now. Through these experiences is where we've developed insecurity, where we've developed depression, anxiety, fear, where we've lost hope in the past. Believe it or not, most of our conditions and our current situations are because of what we've gone through in the past. General gaslighting is a form of, bullying. That's correct. Let me pin that. Most of us are the way that we are, or have the perspective that we have today because of what we've gone through in the past. We are troubled today because of what we've gone through in the past, because of what was said or done to us. But it doesn't have to be like that for our children. So now going back to what I was saying, why are we here? And you have a purpose. It's to help your very own and to help others. By having these conversations, we're showing them that they're never alone and they're able to go to someone. They're ashamed to go to staff. They shouldn't be. That's why they're there. School staff, they have to be on top of these things. But if they're not doing their job, that doesn't mean you can't. As a parent, as a friend, as a mentor, because many times, believe it or not, the youth around us, they're screaming for help. And sometimes you don't realize it. Sometimes you're asking yourself, why are they so stubborn? Why are they acting this way? Why are they not behaving? Is it because I'm spoiling them too much? It may be. It may be that. But it may be because they don't know how to express what they're going through, the pain that they're going through, the experience that they just had today. We got to talk to our children. We have to help them get through. We have to help them understand that, yeah, these things are going to happen. But you don't have to allow it. You don't have to go through it. Let's work on preventing this from happening. Let's go have this discussion with that other child's parent, with the schools. Let's not wait for a tragic moment to occur to then take action, is what I'm trying to say. We have to take action immediately. And again, by having these conversations, your child, right? When they see someone, because you don't have to go through it directly. When they see another child going through it, another person going through it, another student, colleague, they're going to help defuse the situation, or they're going to bring it to someone else's attention. But how are they going to be aware of these things if we don't have these conversations with them? And again, this is linked to so much. As we grow, as we go through life, is linked through so much, because the same way we're having conversations with them, we should be able to have these conversations with others. We have to help each other. How are we going to help each other if we don't take action? If we don't go ahead and make it happen? Not just waiting for something to happen. Now really think about it. The situation that you're in right now. Or those who you know may be in a situation that are going through it. You know, those people who come to you to talk to you about their problem, to try and find a solution to their problem. That sometimes is keeping them stunned mentally, emotionally. What is it that's affecting them? And how is it affecting them? It's very important, because when we can identify what exactly is affecting us, what is causing us to behave a certain way, to feel a certain way, that's when we can actually work towards finding the solution, working towards the solution to these problems. You have to identify it and execute it right there and then. Is it going to be a success instantly? Maybe not. But again, you can't give up on it. You can't give up on you. You can't give up on the next person. The more of us take action, the more change we can make. Whether it's the world, the schools that our child is attending or children is attending, the community that they're in, right? Because again, it all starts with us. It all starts with us. It's time to decide to make changes in your life. Make changes. Help someone else make that change in their life as well. We have to help. There are a lot of people crying out for help right now. Crying out for help. And they have their own ways in doing so. And most of us are able to sense it. Most of us are able to identify it. But then you also have people who choose not to do anything about it. Because it's not them. It's not their problem. But if you think about it, eventually, one way or another, it will become our problem. Because even though you're not going through a situation, you may know of someone going through a situation. And if you don't, eventually you will. And most of the time, it's going to be the people who are with you. It may be a family member. It may be a child that you have now or that you will have in the future. Which is why always have good intentions for others. Make these conversations normal. Spread positivity. Spread healing. Help someone else heal. It's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. And it's going to make your life so much easier too. By us having these conversations, we will end up building people, helping them grow and develop into strong individuals, full of patience, full of awareness. There are people who have been hurt in the past, and they haven't healed from that pain, from that betrayal, from that traumatic experience. They haven't healed, but that's because they haven't had the right people to have the discussion with. They haven't had the right people around them, the right influence. Which is why Pastor Carlos and I started this platform. Because again, we need more of these topics. We need more of these discussions. We need more to help people be aware of who they are and what they're capable of. And we have to let everyone know it's not easy. When you want to make change, it's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight. There's times that it does. But the majority of the changes that you want to make will not happen overnight. And we have to let those people who are going through it know. It's not going to happen overnight, but I don't want you to give up on you, and I will refuse to give up on you. How many of us can be doing better things right now, but we're sitting on this live right now, listening, engaging, embracing, learning, spreading the love, the awareness, the care, the respect that we all deserve. How many of us can be doing other things right now, but yet we're here, and there's a reason why you're here. And I appreciate you being here. I really don't care how hard my life may be, what I may be going through, or what I've gone through. I look at it as there's a reason why I go through it, there's a reason why I've gone through it, and this is the reason why, this platform. And all that takes place behind the scenes, the people that I communicate with, the people that I talk to, the people that reach out to me. There's a reason why. It's tough. I know it is. It's tough. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to get any easier. Don't attach yourself to any hobby, to any job. Don't attach yourself to nothing material. There's nothing that will change your life or help you find stability or happiness that's not you. You have to be happy and content with yourself. That's happiness. You have to work on changing your view on things, on others. It's how you're going to work towards personal development. How can you work towards personal development if you can even help yourself? Or you're not willing to help yourself? Or you're not willing to have these type of conversations? Or you're not willing to be open? There's no dollar amount that's going to fix your internal situation. Mind you, that dollar amount that you have in mind can fix a lot of external things. I'm talking about in your heart, your mindset. So why not work on that while you work on your financial goals? Why not help others wake up and snap out of that little race that they're in, or going after the fantasy, what they see on social media, or those fake friends that they have around them that eventually will become associates one way or another? Why not do that? It's not going to be easy. And just remember this. There's a reason why we all go through these tough situations, especially when you decide to do the right thing for you and the right thing for others. Because as Pastor Carlos and I, we've mentioned in the past episodes, there's a spiritual warfare taking place out there. And as tough as that may seem to be or accept, it's battles that are taking place that we're unable to see, and sometimes even understand unless we go through it. It takes the pressure from a specific situation to mold us into who we are when we get through that situation. It's very easy for me to tell you what I've gone through and what I've, how what the outcome was, what the results were. But let's be real with each other. Most people, they only learn when they go through it. They only learn when they go through it. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be having these conversations. Because when you find yourself in that situation or situations, you'll know how to manage them. You'll know how to try and get through. But when you don't know what to do, who are you going to go to? What are you going to do about it? It's tough out here, and it's only going to get harder. We see the turns that this world is taking, and it seems to not be getting any better. If you want to talk economically speaking, it doesn't seem to get better, right? But it's all about the decisions that we make. Are we going to dwell in the world that we live in and what's happening? Or are we going to stay focused, stay the course in not giving up on us and continuing to fight not only for us, ourselves, but for those who are looking up to us, for those who are counting on us, for those who are looking at us to see what we go through and how we get out of it, for those who go through those dark moments, those dark thoughts, and they can't find a way out, and they want a way out. We just have to keep pushing. Jeremy, just got off work and I'm tired and stressed, but I put my vision and my target higher that I can see it. Yep, that's right. And that's another thing, Jeremy. I'm glad that you put that out there, because we all know how draining work can be. Sometimes we want to do so much for ourselves and others that we feel like we don't have enough time, right? We don't have enough time. But this is why most of us work hard to make time for our purpose, right? And again, it's not easy. It's not easy. So God bless you for having that mentality, bro. God bless you. And that's exactly the message that we're putting out. That nothing is going to be easy. It's funny you mentioned, because I'm out grinding all day. And, you know, I do come home tired. I come home tired. But again, that's not going to stop me from doing this live. That's not going to stop me from giving a good message. It's not going to stop me from putting you on to the topics that have to be discussed to help us grow as people. I can easily put this aside, but I see our platform so much more than just a weekly live. And everyone who's watching does mean so much to me. We have to stick together. All we have is us. All we have is us. Because if no one takes the initiative to put these conversations out, to put these testimonies out, then how are we going to move forward? How are we expecting to overcome? We all have it in us. And as I mentioned throughout today's episode, we will all get through. Some of us who are watching may not have the discipline implemented in their homes. For those who are watching, they may not have that person that they can talk to. They may not even have these type of conversations. These type of discussions and topics are to some lame or soft or weak. When in reality, for those who express themselves like I do and Pastor Carlos does, and everyone else who has gotten on the live to give their testimony, that's a sign of strength, courage, being brave. It's not a sign of weakness. That's what I thought all along as I was growing up. That I had to put an image like, you know, I don't go through anything. I'm okay. Nah, I'm fine. I'm not heartbroken. Or, no. It's okay to feel everything that you're feeling when you're heartbroken. It's okay to feel everything that you're feeling when you fail a test, when you try to accomplish a goal and you fail to do so. You just have to keep going, for more. I hope everyone's been blessed with today's topic and message. Come unto me, all ye that are heavy. Oh, you're throwing, that will give you rest. Jeremy, now that I have you on, I still remember that episode that you got on with your wife. And that was major. And for those who didn't get a chance to watch Jeremy and his wife give out major testimonies, it was major testimonies that day. You really have to take a look at that episode. And that episode, we were talking about the spiritual warfare and everything that takes place in what we cannot see. What we cannot see. And I really appreciate that. Jeremy, we need to get you on in the near future. Let me know when you're available for it. But for everyone who's watching, I hope you're being blessed by the message today. I hope that that you're really receiving the message, letting it sink in, accepting, and looking forward to what tomorrow is going to bring eventually. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. You still have to push through. You still have to be very patient and have faith. You have to have patience and faith when it comes to these things, to your situation. Your situation is temporary. If you're here watching me right now, for those who are watching on Facebook, watching the live in general throughout all the platforms that we're streaming from, you are truly blessed. You are truly blessed. You're still here. You're still breathing. You have so much potential. You're able to do so much more, to overcome. You are not what they said you are. Never let anyone get you to the point where you're insecure about you, where you lack confidence, respect for self. And for those who have gone through it major, don't ever let someone change you. Don't ever let someone change who you are, how you speak, how you dress. Just be yourself at all times. Be yourself at all times. And I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of communities that are going through this. Again, there's very few people who are having these type of conversations, So we have to be more aware of what we need out here to continue to grow as a group, as a community, as people, individuals, right? There's many things that tend to destroy us, but we have to avoid it. We have to avoid it. And just to let everyone know, if there's anyone that wants to go ahead and join the live and they want to put out a testimony, they want to add on to the topic, anything that they want to say, comment, feel free to do so. Send a request and I'll be more than happy to get you on. If you want to go ahead and engage in the chat, if there's something that you want to ask or add on to the topic, yet you want to do it and keep it anonymous, please, on the bottom right corner, you'll have the bubble with the question mark. Feel free to drop that question, drop that statement, and I will be more than happy to read it out loud. While we give it a few minutes for anyone to think about if they want to go ahead and join the live or drop any questions or comments, we are on every week, every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, West Coast. There's so much more that we're working on outside of just this live, this platform. Even myself, I've been working hard on my calling to the point, because of the connections that I've been making with people, the impact, all the videos that we've been making, the conversations that have taken place outside of this live, whether it's through phone calls, through the direct message, or even in person. I am starting to provide services, which I have the option. You can select the option on my profile. You will have the opportunity to book a session with me. It'll be a one-on-one session. Now, you will have two options. If you feel, which I suggest to do the video, the one-on-one session via video, I have that one session, which is through video, through Zoom. And then we also have an audio only. If you feel most comfortable just to have a phone conversation and not the video, you do have that option as well. Now, if this isn't for you, that's okay, and completely understand. But if you know anyone that may need to work on their mindset, to work on those obstacles, the current situation that they're in, and they need someone to talk to, someone to get them out of that mindset, out of those negative thoughts, and convert them into positivity. Someone that's going to help you reframe your thoughts, to change your mindset, to change it completely, to get you through those obstacles. You now have the opportunity. I will be providing the services. Again, it's going to be one-on-one sessions. Now, the only thing that I ask is this. I am going to commit 100%. And what I am looking forward to is that you do the same. If you're really serious about making change in your life, if you're really serious about getting through those obstacles and working in personal development, anything that you have in mind, if you want to change your perspective, shift your mindset, reframe those thoughts, feel free to look into my profile. And you also have the option to do a consultation. You don't have to jump in it or commit to it fully. all you can do is just select the consultation, and we'll take it from there. You know, we'll figure out if this is for you. If not, I completely respect it. But again, I'll be here for you regardless. These weekly lives are going to take place, and there's going to be so much more that's going to happen outside of these lives. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. God's been blessing all of us. I'm sure he's been blessing all of us. And there's been a lot that's been on my vision, a lot that I've been working towards. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all, but one day and one goal at a time. I'm huge on how patience is a virtue and faith is the substance. And I will keep pushing. I will not give up on all that I'm trying to accomplish, on all that I'm trying to do, not only for self, but for everyone who joins our live, who takes the time to listen in. Please let others know. Share our live videos. Share our content on YouTube, which, you know, we're working on a name for our YouTube channel, our ministry, which is, it's been major, you know, the impact that we've been doing, and super blessed to be able to do it virtually, right? So eventually along the way, we'll be able to do more in person. But in the meantime, we've been keeping everything virtual, and the reach is just priceless. You know what I mean? Anyone can join in, they can listen in. So really, I want to thank you all. Really want to thank you all. I want to go ahead and ask everyone to drop a heart if you've been feeling today's topic and everything that's been discussed. Just giving it a few. If anyone wants to go ahead and join. Pastor Carlos, by the way, was unable to join us tonight. I was hoping he could have been able to join in eventually, but he will be with us next week Thursday. He will be back with us next week Thursday. Thank you. Let me go ahead and drop some hearts here. See if anyone typed anything in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you once again for joining us today, and really looking forward to seeing you next week. We will be back on live next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, West Coast. Always remember, patience is a virtue and faith is a substance. Don't only focus on helping you, but focus on helping others heal. Have these discussions with others. More people need these type of discussions. Remember, spread it. Spread the love, spread the respect, spread the awareness. Let others know how you feel. Let others know that there's always a way out. There's always breakthrough. Breakthrough is so close. It's right in front of us, but most of the time we let the distraction block our blessings. We let distractions and these difficult situations block our breakthrough. Okay, so I'll see you all next week. Hope everyone has a great and blessed week. Stay safe out there. Have a great and blessed weekend as well. And we will see you all next week, Thursday. Thank you.